Good morning. My name is Kurt Ranta, Field Operations Section Chief for Team 12, managing the Whisky Complex. Again, that's the Whisky fire, and then the Sandstone fire and the Blister Creek fire. We'll start in the Whisky fire today. We'll start on the recent activity that's happening in Herman Creek. We did take a couple flights yesterday and looked at it pretty closely. Also flew down the drainage, flew along the actual river for a bit, looking at bigger picture stuff. Just to update you about what the fire did yesterday, very little movement on the north, so it really did not advance down Herman Creek at all. We did identify a spot that had been showing up in the infrared, and we finally found it. It was actually kind of hard to find it because there's very little smoke coming out of it. So we did see that. It looks like maybe an acre and a half. It doesn't look like it's quite made it up to Benson Plateau. It's right on the edge of it. So that's not moving right now. I think we just saw a couple of heavies smoldering in there. And all this kind of patchwork of fire edge in here is really indicative of what we see when it moves up against the Eagle Creek fire scar, which is a lot of it's holding up on it. And if it spots into it, it'll move around a little bit, but quite slowly. So yesterday we really saw no active spread within the Eagle Creek fire scar. A little bit of a movement in here, but just slow backing. Most of the activity on the fire yesterday was, you'll see this hash marked piece of heat here. That was from the night before and yesterday morning. Continued to move slowly, quite slowly up Herman Creek, and then a little bit of additional growth on the west side of Herman Creek. And I know you guys can't see very well, but this is the actual Herman Creek actual in there. With that, we flew around and looked at kind of what's the head of this drainage and what the potential would be for this to continue to slowly move up the drainage yesterday, and kind of made some plans based off of that. Moving around to Division Gulf, as has been the case for the last few weeks, just monitoring that. No heat showing in this line. They've been doing a little bit of extra hand crew repair up in the wilderness here, but that's really looking pretty good. Today they're going to look at a little bit more work maybe up here in this little piece. It's not being utilized, and start to look at what it'd take to repair or rehab that Helispot 5 that we had up there for folks in case somebody needed to be hauled out there because of a medical accident. But not much going on up there. Most of what they're going to be doing is supporting Division Tango down here, and what we're doing in here based on some of what we assessed in here, not because of any urgency, but we're going to test there's a still hose line that goes all the way down here, all the way into the Eagle Creek scar, so that's our secondary contingency line. And we're going to put another couple connected pieces of hose in here and make sure we have a fully functional water handling system hose lay, that when the new organization comes in here starting Thursday, that they'll have something they can work off of. In the unlikely event that this fire for the remainder of this month and into next month continues to move up here. So that's what's going on down in Tango. Over here on the repair group, they're moving along with a bunch of different projects and making pretty good progress here. Don't have the whole county area up here, but this line, this contingency line goes all the way up. Just imagine it going all the way to the Columbia River here. And there's a bunch of dozer line, as I've mentioned in the last few days. It was reopened from Eagle Creek, and they're working excavators in there to repair that to prevent any erosion once we get to wet season, or it's actually going to rain in a couple days. So we're trying to get that done quickly. We're also trying to get that done to prioritize that so the county can reopen a bunch of their land in there for both the recreation and the mountain biking, and also for particularly the Greenpoint Reservoir, that Kingsley area where there's a campground. So hopefully here sometime later this week, the county will start looking at that as far as reopening that. Additionally, as far as the repair group goes, still doing grading work down here in the 2810, and then starting in on some of this interior lines that were no longer needed with repairing the dozer line in here. That's what's going on repair. We do have, as I identified yesterday, we did reestablish a contingency group, and we have a couple people, no resources, we're just scouting out on the BPA power lines out by above Cascade Locks and east and west, looking at that and what that would take for access, and if we needed to use it in the future as a contingency line, what that plan would look like to utilize it for preparing it, if the fire got close, what it would take to actually burn out off of that line, like they did in Eagle Creek. again, I want to make it clear that we do not anticipate that's a very unlikely event. But like I said yesterday, that's our job to plan out and look for things, look for the unexpected to happen and plan around that. So that's what's going on there. Move to Sandstone. Not a lot going on out here. We still have an excavator working on the 7015 road system. We still have an excavator that's, yesterday we got the go-ahead to work on these dozer lines in here, so they're in there repairing. That'll take several days to get that work done. And we also have some hand work going on out here as far as little pieces of hand line that the hand crew out there will continue to work on the next few days here. And then, of course, most importantly, keeping an eye from both here and here, any unexpected fire activity that might pick up, which really has only manifested itself in the way of like smokes popping up, and then seeing if we can go deal with it. We had no smoke showing yesterday in the fire. I will throw in there that we have 3 more shifts, this team, the team 12, 3 more shifts through Wednesday and on the fire, and then we'll be transitioning the complexity analysis was done earlier a few days ago, and the forest and the team and the agency administrators determined that we would bring in a type 3 organization, a type 3 team from the forest, the Mount Hood National Forest, to manage the Whisky fire. So we'll be leaving some resources with them, adequate resources to continue to monitor and do any remaining repair work. And then the Sandstone fire, with a little less complexity and no activity on it right now, would go to a type 4 organization that's supported by the forest. So that gives you an idea, and they will transition Wednesday evening, and first operational shift will be on Thursday. And as far as the weather goes, we're getting a pretty significant change coming in the next couple days. We've got a little bit of high pressure in here today, which is allowing a little bit of drying. But we do have a pretty strong marine push coming in, that marine layer coming in, so we'll see that more and more in the next couple days. We do anticipate probably a wetting rain, kind of a significant rain tomorrow evening and into Wednesday, maybe quarter, half an inch is what we're looking for at that point. That's what we got going on for today. Thanks.